Aloha, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, football fans across the state of Utah. Welcome to John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium at the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates. Tonight, the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle and the Manti Templars renew one of 3A's biggest rivalries. With my broadcast partner, Gavin Atkinson, Alexander Tilo joining you from the top of John Colosimo Field here at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Gavin, what an interesting matchup we have tonight. It is the air raid against the Veer.
Oh, you know, Alex, I've been looking forward to this matchup all week because of this just complete difference of offensive schemes that are going to be duking it out tonight. You've got Manti, who loves to throw the ball. They will throw it over you all night if they can. Last I knew, their halfback only had 39 carries on the season, and we're 3 games into the week. And then Juan Diego, you know, we were joking about it earlier. We'll see if they throw 10 passes tonight. They just do not throw the ball because they are so good at running that triple option.
And this is definitely one of the best offenses against one of the best offenses in 3A. The leading rushing touchdown getter, Antonio Archuleta, tonight for Juan Diego, going to go up against the leading quarterback for touchdown passes in 3A, in Mason Starkweather. And let me tell you, it's going to come down to, can this Manti Templars team slow down this veer option? Because Alta, remember, had a whole summer. Manti only had 6 days to get ready for the veer.
Oh, 100%, Alex. And, you know, you'll hear defensive coordinators talk about when stopping the veer, you have to do your 1/11th. You have to stay on your one guy that's assigned. But the issue comes, what happens when the guy who's going on the dive back gets blocked? Now nobody's on the dive back. So it's so hard to prepare for this veer offense. You need so much time. And with Manti only having 6 days to prepare, I'm very interested to see, you know, what the defense will look like tonight. They have had a very storied rivalry. You know, these teams know what both of these teams know what the other team is going to do. It's going to be a question of who can stop the other team on defense.
Now let's talk about those two defenses for a second. Juan Diego, defensive coordinator, head coach Danny Larson. On the other side, head coach Fred Tolke-Aho. On the other side, he's the defensive coordinator for the Templars. So we're looking at these two defensive coordinators as the head coaches. It's going to be a chess match between which defensive coordinator is going to outwit the other one here tonight.
Oh, you know, Alex, I can't wait. You know, assuming this game goes into halftime fairly close, which I imagine it will, it's going to come down to those halftime adjustments. It's going to come down to who can figure out the other team first, who can make those adjustments. And, I can't just express how excited I am to watch these two teams play.
We have less than a minute till kickoff. Now time for the Heidemann Associates Keys to the Game, committed to serving you, the client, and going above and beyond the call. Call them today or give them an online consultation, an online email for a free consultation. Gavin, very quickly here, what are we looking at for both teams?
Well, we'll start with Juan Diego. They have to find a way to minimize turnovers. They've been fairly good at it throughout the season, but turnovers completely take any momentum away from their offense, especially in a triple offense that takes a lot of time. Now, Manti, we touched on it earlier, they have to find a way to slow down this triple option, slow down that dive back.
Off we go from Juan Diego. Newport kicks off, and it's a fake on the return. And coming to the near side, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and getting brought down close to the 35-yard line. That's Ty Pringle, the sophomore defensive back.
Tackle made by number 33.
And it'll be the first time we get to see Mason Starkweather for the first time here tonight.
You could help him out too.
Mason Starkweather, as is his want, comes out. And look at this, 5 wide receivers, Gavin, stacked to the entire left side of the line of scrimmage. That's a new wrinkle. Starkweather to throw on first down. No surprise. Pass is caught. Penalty flag goes down, and a big play on the first play, complete to Trevor Foles. But this one is going to be coming back. It looks like there was a block in the back somewhere on the line of scrimmage.
Yep, I believe they're going to give that one to number 5, Stone Mortensen. You know, he just got that one behind. It looked pretty good, but yeah, that's why the play looked good.
So mark it off 10 yards from the spot of the foul and back it up.
And Alex, that is never the way you want to start a game. It sucks away the energy from your team. But if there's a team that can recover from that, it will be Manti. The way they throw this football, they can make up 20 yards in one play, in the snap of their fingers. I'm very excited to see just how this offense runs, but we'll see if they can get it going here.
20 yards to go.
Crowd still filing in on this Friday night. Kickoff temperature 75 degrees here at John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium. First and long now, 20. And another pass. This time Mortensen gets the catch, breaks a tackle, and then he gets run over after maybe a pickup of a yard. It was Roman Rosano and Toby Harden, among others, on the stop.
Yeah, looks like Manti just didn't want to go away from that wide receiver screen, just flipped the sides of it. Not much there.
And it looks like they're going that same formation again. 5 wide receivers, all to the left side. This time, Starkweather to throw. Good protection, fires, man wide open up that sideline, and making the catch as stepping out of bounds is Jaden Henningsen. There was a busted coverage on the backside, and Henningsen picks up close to 30 yards of that play to first down across midfield.
I got to give some love to my linemen for Manti. They gave that quarterback so much time. Those routes had so much time to develop, and, those corners can't cover forever. Somebody's going to get open.
Now 4 wide receivers go to the right side for Starkweather on 1st and 10. Blitz coming. He takes a hit, throws for the falls, and he makes a diving catch inside the 15-yard line, down to the 10. He's down inside the 5. And in 2 plays, Manti already inside the 5-yard line, or close to the 5-yard line. Now Talapapa lines up as the tailback with Starkweather. Starkweather to throw on first down, throws the screen. That's complete to Mortensen, puts his shoulder down, and he gets brought down at the 1.
Man, Manti is a little lucky that play went as well as it did, as both receivers kind of collided into each other. Very early on that play, able to recover.
Stone Mortensen got that catch, and now trying for the quick sneak is Starkweather. He gets stoned. And he'll bring a 3rd and goal at the 1 here for the Manti Templars. Alexander Timolip and Gavin Atkinson just underway here. The KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates. Couple of big plays for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle, or for the Manti Templars. And JD on the back step here with Manti knocking on the door. 4 wide receivers, they spread it out. Double wides either side. Talapapa, the tailback. The give is to Talapapa. He powers forward and in. Touchdown, Manti.
I just love seeing Manti switch that up. For many teams, that's just kind of a given, get that 1 yard. But with Juan Diego's defense, that is very much not the case. When that field gets smaller, Manti loses the ability to throw it further downfield. It's a much smaller field. Offensive line able to create a little gap for their halfback to run right through.
Darian Otto, the defensive end, had hands on him but could not bring him down.
And I believe that is Talapapa's first rushing touchdown of the year.
Maybe we should have put it over-under on how many he'll have tonight, as the kick is up by Skylar Flam, and it is good. And with 9 minutes and 22 seconds left in the very first quarter, that didn't take very long. Manti already up 7-0. Now it's Juan Diego's turn on offense when we come back. Alexander Timolip and Gavin Atkinson, the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week continues here. Manti already up 7-0 on Juan Diego in this all-3A battle from John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium.
Kicking off for the Templars, number 21, Skylar Flam.
Skylar Flam will kick off.
Number 17, Braylon Fail.
Braylon Fail back to receive along with Antonio Archuleta. Flam's kick is a line drive taken on the hop by one of the Upmen, coming up the side to the 30. And getting brought down about the 31-yard line is Mario Maestas.
Number 28, Mario Maestas on the return.
So Maestas gets to about the 30-yard line, and that'll bring out Hayden Mezzinin for the first drive of the night here for this Juan Diego offense, and they'll get some good field position at the 31 as we get to see this veer option for the first time.
Yep, going to be the first time we see this veer, also known as the triple option, the complete antithesis to Manti's just absolute throwing bombs, that spread offense.
So Mezzinin under center, 1st and 10. Handoff to the right side goes to Roman Rosano, the dive back, and Rosano gets about maybe 3 yards
Number 9,
to about the 33-yard line. And Gavin, we were going to talk about it off the top, how key it is to stop the dive for this Juan Diego offense, because they run that dive so well. A 3-4 yard gain can easily turn into a 6, 7, 8 yard, even up to a 10-yard gain.
And you know, Alex, this dive, you know, you kind of touched on it, but it's like the key to their offense. When the dive isn't working, you know, the rest of their offense kind of struggles. But their dive always seems to work. They're always able to break another tackle, extend runs. It's kind of their bread and butter.
Now Archuleta gets the handoff right side, and he gets about maybe 4 yards over left guard. And going to bring up a 3rd and manageable here for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. And you're going to notice Juan Diego's going to take their time here offensively. Defensive coordinator Fred Takeaho, the head coach of this Templars team, trying his best to try to slow down this veer option offense, which had its way with the last 2 opponents, Judge Memorial and South Summit, along with a 5A school in Alta. Now a 3rd down handoff. Here is Rosano or Archuleta, and he is going to be short of the 1st down by about a yard. And now decision time here for head coach Danny Larson and offensive coordinator DJ Larson. And it appears that Mezzinin's going to keep the offense on the field to go for it. So 4th and a yard, less than a yard from the 40. Trying to jump the Manti Templars defense. They got 9 yards so far on 3 carries, average of 3 yards. And it's Rosano getting the handoff for Archuleta, and he falls forward, and he's got it.
Number 8, Antonio Archuleta.
You know, Alex, right there, it's kind of interesting. It just depends on how much the head coach trusts his offensive line. You know,
42-yard line.
you think you can get that 1 yard, but it's such a risk. You're in your own side, your territory. You're down 7. You don't get that 1 yard, you could very well find yourself behind in this game. But that dive, it's just so hard to stop. Everybody knew it was going to be that dive, and they just went right through you.
1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. Under 7 minutes to go, 1st quarter. Mezzinin, little sweep to the far side. This is Rosano, and he's got a big lane and then some, but we have a flag back at the 44-yard line. And it looks like this is coming back.
Number 2,
Jackson Anderson with the stop, but not before. Rosano picked up the 1st down, and we had a subsequent holding.
Believe that one's going to be on Archuleta. Very adamant that he did not hold there. Very frustrated by that. But, you know, right there, you kind of see that dive giving, you know, that outside run some breathing room. It sets up that offensive line, or that outside run, almost like how the run sets up a play action for a pass-heavy offense. Just unfortunate that one had to come back.
1st down and 14 now from the 36-yard line. Again, under 7 minutes to go. Alexander Timoleb, Gavin Atkinson. You're watching the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann & Associates. Want to welcome those of you watching in Manti, here in Draper, and watching around the world. 1st and 10 from the 1st and 14 rather from the 36. Handoff goes to Rosano going right side. He gets maybe 2.
Roman Rosano on the carry.
And it'll bring up a 2nd and 12 here for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. That's the thing about this offense. They're very disciplined. Had no turnovers in that game we called against Alta back on August 16th. And they also only committed 5 penalties that entire game and drew 9 offside penalties in that game against Alta as they were jumping into the neutral zone trying to defend the veer. Past the halfway point, 1st quarter, 7-0 Manti on a quick strike drive. Here is a fake to Mazinin, and here's our first pass. And Mazinen's got him out wide open and complete down the seam. No flags. Goodbye. Touchdown, Soaring Eagle.
Mezzanen's pass is complete to number 15, Garang Dang.
Garang Dang into the end zone. And the first pass of the game for Juan Diego goes for a touchdown.
You know,
The same thing happened the last game we called.
Juan Diego taking a page out of Manti's playbook with that big shot passing play. It looked a little different. They ran that play action, and boy, was it pretty wide open, as Manti did not expect that there.
High snap, good hold. Kick is up by Bryson Newport, and it is good. 7-0. Turns to a 7-7 game with 5 minutes and 41 seconds left here in the first quarter. Get comfy, folks. We got some football to play here tonight. Hey, reminder, join us next week for the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week at Lehigh High School, an all-Region 3 showdown between the Lehigh Pioneers and the American Fork Cavemen. Boy, is that going to be a tasty one. Matt Coma and Moose Bingham, you better join them at 7 p.m. next Friday for the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week, presented by Heidemann and Associates. 6-play drive to go 69 yards in just over 2 minutes. Juan Diego on a 59-yard pass from Hayden Mezzinin to Garang Dang has made it a 7-7 game. Kickoff is taken by Pringle at the 5. Pringle comes up the middle, hits the seam hard, and Ty Pringle's got a lane. Newport, the only man to beat. He beats him. Touchdown.
What an explosive kid. We saw him almost break one away to start the game, and then he responds to that Juan Diego touchdown, that Juan Diego massive play with his own. Love the speed on this kid. Such a great player for Manti.
Ty Pringle, just a sophomore, playing two ways.
On the kick for the Templars, number 21.
And just like that, Manti goes back in front. I mean, we talked about how there was going to be probably fireworks in this game. I don't know if we could have scripted it any better to start this early here this evening. The quick strike drive, 4 plays to go less than 60 yards for the Manti Templars, and then Mezzinin throws the touchdown to Dang, and then the kickoff return of 94 yards as the kick is blocked. Blocked on the play by Lokeland Cruz.
And the big plays just keep coming. You know, Juan Diego gets that touchdown, Manti gets the touchdown, and then Juan Diego comes up with a massive extra point block. You know, with how this game has looked so far and how these teams' histories have played out, that could be the difference. Will it be? We won't know until the end of the game, but what a play by Juan Diego.
Okay, so just to get everybody caught up on what's happened, in case you were out getting some DoorDash or getting some food or catching a drink or taking a nap or what have you, you missed an electric start. Juan Diego had a 59-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Mezzinin to Garang Dang, and then Ty Pringle with that 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, all preceded by a touchdown run by Tala Papa. Have I gotten everything so far, Gavin, outside of the blocked extra point?
I believe so.
Here's the kickoff, a short one that will bounce and taken on the run by Braylon Fail. And Fail this time not going to get as far as Pringle did. He gets crushed at about the 20-yard line. And so Juan Diego's offense will come straight back out onto the field. Tackle made by James Everett
on the tackle.
Now, we are truly seeing some of the best teams in 3A. You know, Manti coming into this game 3-1, Juan Diego 2-2, but very closely could have come into this game 3-1. Just couldn't pull out that win to start the year versus Alta.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker. We were here that night at John Colosimo Field. First and 10 now from the 20. Here's a sweep to the near side, and Archuleta's got some space, and Archuleta breaks a tackle. Archuleta finally chopped down across midfield.
On the carry.
It was Anderson who had the last.
Gain of 29.
Who had the last lap. Another explosive play. 29 on the run that time on the sweep for Antonio Archuleta. Again, the leading rushing touchdown getter in 3A, and with 9. First and 10 now at the 49-yard line, just like that. Here's a handoff to Buckley, and Buckley powers forward for a couple of yards over right guard.
Now, going back to that run from Archuleta, what I love is the physicality from him. You know, he had the option to go out of bounds. He has Dax Anderson, the cornerback, you know, getting ready to make the tackle, and he says, you know what? I'm a physical football player. I'm going to run right over you. I'm going to say, hey, you're going to take that hit. You're going to take it all night. You're going to feel this in the morning. And I love that physicality from Juan Diego. I'm interested to see how that continues throughout the game, if they can keep up that physicality.
4:29 to go. Boy, we have had fireworks and then some here already. Here's a pitch to the trailback Buckley. Pitch was a little bit behind him, and he couldn't get anywhere, and he gets swarmed at the line of scrimmage. McEwen Olsen, among others, there to seal the edge, and it's third down.
And you know, Alex, that is one of the toughest things about the veer option, is when it is run well, it is almost unstoppable. But when it is run poorly, and if that pitch is slightly behind or too forward, you know, it's so easy to mess up and you don't get anything out of it. It's a very risky offense, high risk, high reward. That time it just didn't work out.
So 3rd and 10 now from the 49-yard line. The drive started with that 29-yard run by Antonio Archuleta. They need to get inside the 40. Here's a handoff to Buckley going right side. He gets about maybe 5. So you're kind of in that position here, Gavin. No man's land on 4th and 5 here from about the 46-yard line. But I would think this is a spot where if you're Danny Larson and DJ Larson, the offensive coordinator, you trust your offense to go for it.
I believe so. And part of it's, you know, how much you trust the offense, and part of it's how much you trust the defense. We're getting to the, you know, last few minutes of this quarter. And Juan Diego's offense has looked fairly good to start. And their defense, you know, has struggled a little bit against the pass. We'll see how they adjust. Looks like they're going for it here.
4th and 5. It's a fake. Mazinin looking to pass. He's got time. Throw is behind and incomplete. Intended for Darian Otto, the tight end. And that'll be a turnover on downs for this Juan Diego offense. And now this Manti offense comes right back onto the football field.
Great discipline by Manti's secondary, you know, not biting on that play action, not biting on either the dive, understanding the situation. 4th and 5, they could go for that run, most likely pulling out that play action. You know, nothing developed down the field. He had nowhere to throw the ball.
So Starkweather comes right back out. 13-7 in favor of Manti. We've already had 2 offensive touchdowns on 2 drives in this game. And a special teams touchdown on that 96-yard kickoff return by Ty Pringle. Crowd still filing in. 1st and 10 from the 46. Starkweather to throw. It's a backwards pass to Starkweather. Starkweather needs a block, and he gets it, and plenty more. And Starkweather down the sideline, and they're going to mark him out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So offensive coordinator Cam Shumway going a little misdirection on that play.
You know, I love to see that. Cameron Shumway pulling something out of his bag of tricks, trying to catch Juan Diego off guard, and they did. If he hadn't stepped out, you know, he may have had a chance getting into the end zone, but just couldn't walk that tightrope.
And so Danny Larson, the head coach and the defensive coordinator, seen enough of this. He's going to take a timeout. Already 3 explosive plays allowed in just 5 for Juan Diego's offense. We want to remind you the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of the Game of the Week is presented by Heinemann & Associates. Call them or consult them online today and get a free consultation courtesy of the Rewind Sports Network. Alexander Timolip alongside Gavin Atkinson here with 2:36 left. Juan Diego and Manti locked in a tight one here early, 13-7 in favor of the Templars. And Gavin, so far the offenses have determined the course of the day, and it's the defenses right now, surprisingly so, who are a little bit out of sort.
And you know, Alex, that's caught me off guard. We were talking about it earlier, how both defenses, you know, would have been fairly strong throughout the year, you know, have been impressive, and now right now both of them kind of looking a little discombobulated, trying to figure things out.
Starkweather to throw, throws it into traffic, caught for a first down to Mortensen. Mortensen gets inside the 20.
Tackles made by number 22.
And once again, already in the red zone here are these Templars.
18-yard line.
First and 10 now from the 18-yard line for the Manti Templars. Starkweather to throw. Looking, pressure, throws into the end zone and overthrows his man. Incomplete. Intended for Henningsen.
Incomplete, intended for number 1.
That'll be second down.
Man, Starkweather is going to want that one back. He read the defense well, saw it was man coverage, and the receiver had a step on his corner on the defensive back. He had the right idea, just a little too much on it.
Second down and 10 now at the 18-yard line. To get to the 8 without scoring, of course. Triple wide receiver lines up to the left for Mason Starkweather. Starkweather to throw. Pressure coming. Tries to set up the screen. Dumps it off. Talapapa. He's got some space. Talapapa inside the 5. He's got a second. Touchdown to the corner.
Pass complete to number 23.
And what a great play design by Cameron Shunway. Again, you know, he's selling the deep routes. He has all his guys going downfield, and you're pulling that single high safety to the far side of the end zone. Then he just dumps it off for that screen, and nobody's in the middle of the field.
And Manti going to try to go for 2 here, being that this is only a 12-point game. And Starkweather came out late as they got the play call in late here from offensive coordinator Cameron Shumway. Play clock down to 3. They're going to have to hurry up here. They just get it away, or do they? No, they won't. Timeout is called by Manti. It took a little too long to get the play in.
Timeout Templars.
Now, Manti is truly showing right now what makes them so good. The most or the least amount of points they've gotten all season was 20 against Grantsville, which was their only loss. The next lowest amount of points in a game is 39 against Snow Canyon. You know, they had 58 versus Pineview and 45 versus Emory. This team is going to score points. And Juan Diego, you know, their offense struggles to score points at that, you know, massive amount at that level. So we're really starting to see Juan Diego get a little behind. Their offense needs to respond and try and slow down this Manti defense. A great start to that would be stopping this 2-point conversion. Get some momentum back on your side.
19-7. In a first quarter that has been more than full of fireworks here at John Colosimo Field here at Soaring Eagle Stadium, the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week. Starkweather in the shotgun with Talapapa, his left hip. Going to take the snap, looks to his right, tries to come back that way. Now scrambles, now throws wide open, and making the catch for the 2-point conversion is Carter Mason.
2-point conversion is good.
Great job not panicking. All the routes were stopped initially, and then all the receivers just decided, hey, the middle of the field isn't open, let's run out to the edge. Starkweather sees what's happening, puts the ball right on the right where it needs to be, converts the 2 points. Manti up 14 in the first quarter, catching me off guard.
Well, catching, I think we went back to what we said earlier, Gavin. As Alexander Timlin, Gavin Atkinson, the Rewind Sports Network Game of the Week, presented by Heidemann Associates here from Juan Diego. We talked about how this game might be a defensive chess match, but right now, it's really between the two offenses right now. Which one can outscore the other right now? Because if you look at it realistically, Gavin, we still have over 35 minutes of game time still to go.
Great point, Alex. By no means is this game over. But Manti really looking, you know, everything's going right in their game plan right now. We'll see how Juan Diego responds, and we know they can.
Steinfeld kicks off, trying to get a poocher down in that corner. Maestas picks it up on the run once again, and he gets clobbered as he gets to the 31-yard line. So about the same spot for Juan Diego
28, Mario Maestas.
to start their second drive, or their third drive rather, offensively of the game. Manti's had 2 drives. They've scored twice. Juan Diego has scored on its opening drive as well, but they were stopped on a 4th down on their next drive.
And we'll see how Juan Diego adjusts to that. You know, the drive was going pretty well up until that point. Decided to roll the dice, wasn't able to get it, and that just kind of shifted the momentum in this game. You got to start earning that back bit by bit, dive by dive, 3-4 yards. Don't panic and run your offense.
To get right back to it, here's a sweep to Archuleta. Archuleta gets a block, cuts it back across the grain. Right on cue, Mr. Atkinson, almost close to a first down at the 41-yard line is Archuleta.
Archuleta's carry.
Now, Archuleta's ball carrier vision is just excellent. You know, if he kept on going to the outside of the field, that's maybe a 3-4 yard gain. Cuts it back in, goes in between defenders, splits the Red Sea, if you will, and gets that first down. I love watching this kid run the football.
He had a 29-yard gain on his last carry. He had a 10-yard gain here, so he's already approaching 100 yards or 50 yards rushing in just the first quarter. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter, 21-7 Manti. Difference really is that kickoff return by Pringle. Here's a handoff backside to Buckley, and Buckley's got a hole, and Buckley gets about maybe 4 yards over left tackle.
Buckley on the carry.
And that, I believe, is going to take us to the end of the first quarter.
Up a 2nd down and 6 from the
as the Soaring Eagle, I think, are going to have second and call it about maybe 6 at the start of quarter number 2. The play clock and game clock are just about even with each other. And DJ Larson is putting his hands up to his quarterback saying, let the clock run out. And they will do exactly that. Or will they? Mezzinin trying to fake out everybody thinking that they're going to run a play, but I don't think you have to here, as they're going to let everything run out at the end of the first quarter, and they do. So we come to the end of the first 12 minutes. Wow, what fireworks we've had here at Juan Diego High School. Juan Diego already on the move, and what's developing into an offensive shootout here in Draper. The lights have taken effect here at Juan Diego High School. Welcome back to John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Alexander Timolep alongside Gavin Atkinson. Juan Diego already on the move. As you're watching the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates in this all 3A showdown between Manti and Juan Diego. Start the second quarter. Handoff goes up the middle. This is Archuleta, and he dives forward for about maybe 5 more yards. And it'll be third and less than a yard here for the Soaring Eagle. Again, Archuleta in that first quarter already
1 yard to go.
Already over 50 yards rushing. 55 now officially by my count. And I suspect this will be a running play. We saw 2 passes by Juan Diego in the first quarter. One of them went to Garang Deng for a 59-yard touchdown, but I sincerely doubt we're going to see that here. Then again, I've been wrong. I was wrong the last time. We'll see if I am. And I am wrong. Mezzinin's going to throw, and he gets trucked up in the backfield. So DJ Larson goes for the pass on 3rd and 1.
Lincoln Alder.
And Lincoln Alder was not fooled on that one.
That was just about the worst case scenario for Juan Diego right there. I believe, the mindset there, I could be wrong, was, if that ball is incomplete, you go for it on 4th and 1. You can get that 1 yard. But him taking that sack takes that option away. Now Manti's going to get the ball with an opportunity to go up 3 possessions.
Carter Mason.
Play clock down to 5 as we're having fire drill substitutions all over the place. And boy, that was a late whistle from the back judge right there. He saw the play clock and run out at 0, but I thought they got the snap off before the whistle blew, but apparently not in the eyes of the back judge. So 4th and a little bit longer, 4th and 15 here for this punt unit.
Now we'll see if this punter can flip the field. That is what Juan Diego really needs to do. You know, they started to get some of that momentum back on that offensive drive. Now your defense needs to take the reins. You know, a turnover would be just what the doctor ordered.
Good punt here by Bryson Newport. And he does what he's supposed to do, flips the field. It'll die right at the 26-yard line.
Newport's punt is down at
down at the 26-yard line. That's officially a 35-yard punt, but a pretty effective one in the end, as that'll bring out this Manti offense once again. 2 offensive drives and 2 touchdowns for the Templars.
Remember to head on down to the concession stand, the northwest side of Soaring Eagle Stadium.
And you know, Alex, my favorite thing about working at high school football while we have them, or working in high school football while we have them in it, is no matter where you go, you just have an excellent view. You know, sun setting on the mountains in front of us. You got the football right in front of you, and you look up and just straight beauty.
1st and 10 from the 26. Starkweather right back to work. Throw is caught. Jaden Henningsen with the catch. He gets stood up after about a gain of maybe 8 yards, close to 9 on the play.
Very shifty play by him, breaking a couple tackles, getting a couple extra yards, and that is a coach's best friend, making more with what you got.
Starkweather lofts it over the top. Mason open. He's got it. Mason breaking tackles, and finally they hog tie him at about the 20-yard line. Another explosive play for this Templars offense.
And that is what makes this Manti offense so hard to defend. They go for a short little 5-yard throw, and then next thing you know, it's over your head.
Throw is caught. That's Mortensen trying to cut back to the inside, and this time the defense gets over there to swallow him up. Kainoa Yeager, among others, made the stop. As Manti trying to put more points on the board here.
2nd down and 5 from the
2nd and 5 from the 14-yard line. Starkweather to throw once again. Protection is good. Throws to the end zone, and this time overthrows his intended receiver Mason. It'll be 3rd and long.
Intended for number 4, Carter Mason.
You know, I kind of wonder if that overthrow was by design. We'll never know, but he was thrown into double coverage. If that one was a little lower, good chance of getting picked off.
Juan Diego trying to hold Manti to at least a field goal. They've already blocked an extra point here in this game, and trying to at the very least hold Manti out of the end zone on this drive. 3rd down here from the 14-yard line, and he gets to the 10 for a first down. 3rd and 4. Here's a handoff, a fake, and now a throw. That pass is caught. That is Mortensen, and he is into the end zone for the touchdown.
Pass complete to number 5, Stone Mortensen.
Man, I just can't. This Manti offense, I can't even put it into words. It's so fun to watch because they cover every single part of the field. They throw to every single part of the field. Throw it over your head, throw it short. They'll throw it behind the line of scrimmage, and it's the same result. It's yards, it's touchdowns, and it's very efficient. You know, we've talked about their quarterback. He's thrown 16 touchdowns coming into this game and only 2 interceptions. An 8-to-1 ratio. Man, I love that.
And now Starkweather, they're going to go for 2 again. Starkweather going to pivot out of the pocket. Penalty flag goes down. Pass is intercepted in the end zone. It is ruled as a no-good 2-point conversion. But it doesn't matter anyway. Manti did not look like there was a hold, so doesn't matter. The conversion is no good. It was intercepted. And so Manti quickly, 27 points. 27-7, Manti leads. We're almost halfway through this second quarter. Alexander Tumulpa alongside Gavin Atkinson here. Mason Starkweather already thrown 3 touchdown passes, already thrown 2 touchdowns in this game.
Antonio Archuleta, number 17. Braylon Fail.
Fail Archuleta back to receive once again. Steinfeld kicks off. Another deep kick. It'll be taken by Fail at the 7. Fail. Right side. 30. And finally runs into a wall and steps out of bounds at the 31-yard line. So once again, good starting field position
on the return
for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. We'll remind you, next week, the Rewind Sports Network will be in Alpine, Utah. Join us as the nationally ranked Lone Peak Knights take on the Pleasant Grove Vikings. Jake Hatch and I have the call for that one, starting at 7 p.m. Your home for Lone Peak football, presented by Skin Science Institute, is on the Rewind Sports Network. How cool is that, though, to have 2 teams from Utah in the national rankings?
Oh, 100%. I mean, if you just think about how much Utah high school football has grown in even the last 5-10 years, it is just, it's beautiful. I love to see it. I love to see people coming out to these games, these kids showing off what they can do, and seeing these kids get offers from big schools like Oregon, Tennessee. It's really helped grow the sport.
Here's a handoff left side to Buckley on the dive. He gets about maybe 3 yards.
Number 22.
And you just talk about some of the high school football products out there in the NFL right now. Unfortunately, Puka Nacua going out, in week 1. Hopefully he can get back healthy. Penei Sewell, so many guys are finding their way into the big leagues and making their dreams come true, and I'd love to see it.
Of course, some other names we want to talk about. Helaman Kasunga, 5-star recruit. Jerome Miles over at Corner Canyon. They're getting some big offers from big schools over at CCHS. As Mazinin has to get rid of it on the pitch. Ball's on the turf and free. It's picked up and run back inside the 10-yard line. It was a drop snap. And meanwhile, we have a flag down behind the play.
There is a flag on the play.
Jacob Cox looks like he's going to get flagged for unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, he just was pushing way past the whistle. Just kept going, pushing him, back into the sideline. And Juan Diego's sideline kind of arguing the call, but that one was pretty clear. Maybe a little bit of frustration boiling over.
First turnover of the game for either side. And what a time to do it. Juan Diego, I believe by my count, that's only the 4th turnover they've had in just 5 games this year. They had none against Alta, so we're gonna try to sort out the penalty here. So I would assume that this is going to be pushed back 15 yards, and it's going to remain Manti's ball, but probably back near the 20.
Personal foul called.
And it's actually going to be against Juan Diego, so add insult to injury, it's going to be 1st and goal inside the 10. So you're right, Gavin. Unfortunately, now the frustration beginning to boil over a bit here for Juan Diego, down 27-7.
And it's really only been in this last 5 minutes where things have kind of started to go south for Juan Diego. They really had some good things going for them, on that last offensive drive, the one before the fumble, and it just kind of stalled out. Now we're starting to see some struggles, some frustration. We'll see, they need to stop Manti here, need to find a way to build some momentum. You're not out of this game.
Starkweather to throw into the end zone. One play, touchdown.
Starkweather's pass complete to number 13, Trace Justison.
Trace Justison this time with the catch.
Templars touchdown.
And Manti has now scored 26 in a row.
And that's so tough because that turnovers. You have the kick return for a touchdown, getting you 7 points, and now you have 7 points coming from the offense, but it was almost gifted to you from that fumble, from that exchange. So you've got some points that I don't want to say unearned, but came a little easy. So that's definitely going to be weighing on their minds. Something you want to cut out of the game. 7 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the second quarter, and you've got plenty of time to right the ship. You've got plenty of time to figure it out, but you need to start here. We've seen bigger comebacks. Juan Diego needs to start on this drive, needs to do the simple things, needs to get their run game going.
12 28 unanswered, or 27 unanswered points now by the Templars. And two of their scores have come off that fumble, as we said. And then the other one came off of that 96-yard kickoff return by Ty Pringle. And Juan Diego, ever since that 59-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Mezzinin to Garang Dang,
Kicking off for the Templars.
It has been a rough go of it
Back deep to return
here in this
for the
first
Soaring
half.
Eagle, number 8, Antonio Archuleta. Number 17, Braylon Bell.
7 minutes, 32 seconds left here in this first half. It has been all Manti for the better part of this first half. Stone Mortensen now to do the kickoff duties. He kicks it off. And Fail will take it at the 11. Gets a block, has a seam at the 30, and gets brought down at the 35. So once again,
William Osborne
good starting field position. Will Osborne on the stop.
The first and 10 Soaring Eagle from the 35-yard line.
As the Soaring Eagle looking to just get across midfield here. They've been in rhythm, but mostly it's their own untimely errors, unfortunately, Gavin, that has stopped them in the first half.
And man, they've been backbreaking. On that last drive, you had the a pitch that went A-wire. You know, the back wasn't ready for it, bounced off. Manti able to recover. You had the sack before taking you out of the 3rd and 1.
Quarterback Hayden Mezzinin on the carry.
Boy, Hayden Mezzinin, for those that just missed it, took it to the right side, looked like he had some room, and the ball just fell right out of his hand. I mean, that is something that I don't think a lot of people around these parts have seen for a lot of part of this year.
3rd down and
that was rare.
39 yards.
And that play is just kind of described this better part of the first half. Looking good, and then something goes wrong. Slips out, and lucky that one, he was able to get back.
6 minutes and 29 seconds left in the first half, almost halfway through, and Juan Diego just looking to create some traction here before halftime, down by 27 points. Mezzinin fakes, now rolls to his left, and he gets smothered. Lincoln Alder with his second sack, and Mezzinin is slow getting up, and boy, did he get flattened on that play.
And man, that one has got to hurt. He did not see that one coming. Came from the blind side, looking downfield, waiting for his receiver to turn his head. And Manti's pressure able to get there, put him on his back, and 3 and out for Juan Diego right there.
Well, you just feel for Juan Diego. This has been a frustrating first half. So many untimely errors that we haven't seen them make very often this season. Here's a sidewinder punt. Mason bobbles it, picks it up on the roll, now gets to the sideline and gets out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Carter Mason on their return.
So it'll be good field position for Manti, already up 34-7.
At the 41-yard line, it'll be first.
Now on the Manti side of things, I just have been so impressed with Starkweather and his ability to make good reads, his ability to read the defense, go throughout his reads, find the open man, whether it's in the red zone on a shorter field or a 45-yard bomb to one of his receivers. Really impressed by this kid and the way this offense has run through this first half.
1st and 10 from the Juan Diego 41. Here's a shovel pass. This is Talapapa. Breaks a tackle. He's into the secondary. Talapapa is finally collared from behind. Tripped up at about the 20. Brought down officially at the 17. Another explosive play and another first down for Manti. Another variation on the theme right there.
And what a great play call again. I mean, they've been throwing the ball everywhere. Time for a quick little shovel pass to the middle of the line, and then that one goes for 30 yards.
Starkweather going to keep it this time, but Buckley says, not going to fool me. He gets shoved down after about maybe 3 yards. Again, Manti so quickly back to the line. Starkweather, bit of a busted play, throws for Mortensen into a bunch of traffic. Penalty flag flies
number 5
from the back, and I have a feeling this is going to come back.
There is a foul on the play.
Yeah, it was Keelan Lund putting his hands on his head right there, number 78. You know, that's something you just don't want to do if you're Manti. You don't want to take any momentum away from yourself. You don't want to give Juan Diego a chance to breathe. They've been running that hurry up. It's almost like they punched Juan Diego in the face and haven't allowed them to get back up. And that's breathing some life into Juan Diego's, you know, the stadium, really. That, you know, last 10 minutes kind of felt very bleak and quiet, and it was almost a little eerie. But first time you get the crowd cheering, getting that sack, make it third and really long. If they can get off the field, maybe do something with these final couple minutes and go into half, that could be massive for their confidence and momentum going into this game.
Starkweather, 4 men on the rush, gonna throw one into coverage, and it is broken up. Incomplete, intended for Mason. And it is 4th and long from the 31-yard line, and
pass defended by number 17.
Gavin, you'd have to think Braylon failed on the coverage. I mean, you're out of field goal range here for Skylar Flam. I would think you got to just heave it up and say a prayer here.
Yeah, I expect them to do that there. I got to show some love to Braylon Fail on the coverage right there. Found himself behind the receiver in a not great place, but able to get his hand in last second, swat that ball away. As we'll see, Manti just kind of heave this one up there, almost a Hail Mary type play.
Cover 4 is the call. Starkweather rolling. Starkweather throws. Mortensen has it. And he is going to get away, but he's going to be well short in the end of the first down, about the 10-yard line. He needed a 24, but he only got about 20.
23.
Tried to make a few Juan Diego defenders miss, but eventually Juan Diego finally gets off the field. And Gavin, 3:27 left, 3 timeouts left to go for Juan Diego. They get the ball to start the second half. They score on this drive. They could potentially go for 7 on the next drive, and we'd have a whole new ball game after that.
And that's going to be exactly what they're going for. Kind of probably taking a sigh of relief that Manti wasn't able to pull a rabbit out of the hat, get that first down. But now they have to go just about the full length of the field to get that 7.
But if there's any team that can do it, it's Juan Diego, as we're going to have a false start, so back it up 5 yards.
False start on the offense.
That's already the 4th penalty on Juan Diego. They average only 4 penalties a game, so they're already at their average. And again, more self-inflicted errors.
The goal will be a first down and 14.
First and 14 now from the 4-yard line. You'd expect you're going to see a pass. Instead, it's a handoff to Buckley. Buckley's got a hole. Buckley gets away from a man. Penalty flag goes down as well. Buckley still on his feet. And finally brought down at the 30. And there's going to be a face mask. I mean, Gavin Atkinson, that is the definition of Juan Diego and how tough this team is to beat right there.
Oh, I mean, Alex, you know, you think they're going one way and then they run that counter, you know, run it right behind the defense. Everybody's over pursuing, and then their back just breaks a couple tackles, goes through the face mask about 10 yards past where that penalty flag was thrown. And that is a great start for Juan Diego.
To the end of the run. Ball will be placed on the 45.
And we have a timeout signaled for and granted to Manti as head coach Fred Talkeaho going to try to rally the troops here. Juan Diego once again approaching midfield, trying to get a score on the board before half. Well, Juan Diego trying to get back into the ball game, down by 27 points. As we come back live, Alexander Tumop alongside Gavin Atkinson. 3 minutes and 18 seconds left here this first half. Handoff goes to Archuleta right side, and he rumbles forward for another 9-yard pickup.
Gain of 9 brings up a 2nd and 1. Tackle made by number 7, William Osborne.
Will Osborne made the stop. As Juan Diego crosses midfield again. They've had 6 possessions in this first half, and 4 of them have crossed midfield. One ended in a turnover on downs, the other ended in a sack. Only one ended in a touchdown, and that was the 59-yard touchdown pass to Dang. Here's Mezzinin to throw, steps up into the pocket, throws down the middle, the pass is incomplete. Intended for Braylon Fail, who was open behind the defense. Good pressure on the play put on by McEwen Olsen, among others. And it'll be 3rd and a yard.
40.
Manti doing a great job of getting some pressure on Juan Diego, you know, running that pass for the first time we've seen in a little bit. But if he could have put that ball on the money, we could have seen another deep bomb touchdown as he had a step on the back.
Dang motions now over to the left side of the formation. 3rd down and a yard. Mezzinin going to motion Rosano and just give it up the middle to Archuleta, and he's not going to get it. Lincoln Alder came free off the edge, and it's 4th and a yard, and once again Juan Diego obviously has to go for it. Lincoln Alder has just been everywhere here in this first half.
And nothing coming easy for Juan Diego right now. Every yard they have to fight tooth and nail. We'll see if they can convert on this 4th down. You know, as this could have major implications for the rest of the game.
Juan Diego will get the ball to start the second half, but first things first, need to at least put 3 on the board before halftime and make it a little bit more manageable. 4th and a yard and a half. Here's a handoff up the middle, and they got it easily to Rosano and then some. And that'll be a 1st down. Clock will stop momentarily while they move the chains. Still 3 timeouts remaining for Juan Diego, as DJ Larson telling his team to get going here. 1st and 10 from the 40. Handoff goes to Archuleta, banging off tacklers. He gets to the 35-yard line, brought down by a host of white shirts. As Manti just trying to hold on tight here for dear life at the end of this first half. Now up-tempo here from Juan Diego. Mezzinin audibleizing at the line of scrimmage. Here's a handoff again. Oh no, this is a pitch back. This is Rosano. Rosano has the 1st down, and he's banged down to the 29-yard line. Good fake by Mezzinin and a pitch back to the trailing Rosano. That's enough to move the sticks again, as we're under a minute to go. And the Soaring Eagle are going to burn the first of their 3 timeouts.
And right there, you know, Mezzinin just sees Manti's defense loading up in the box. Nobody up high, and he's just saying, man, they're playing that dive. They're trying to stop that dive that they had run, you know, twice before, or on the last 2 plays. Audibles makes it that pitch, pulls it from the diving back, and very similar to what you'll see Air Force, Navy, Army run at the college level. Gets that pitch, and it's just what the doctor ordered. A couple extra yards, converts the 1st down. You got 57 seconds, and this is where it gets a little tough because Juan Diego's offense does not move fast. They struggle to get the ball in the end zone quick. They've got to find a way to get out of bounds, as they don't want to use all of their timeouts.
Out of the timeout, 1st and 10 for Juan Diego at the Manti 29. Mezzinin to throw, good protection, pass is picked off! Threw it into coverage, and Lane Cox with the interception. And Cox is brought down to the 35-yard line.
Mezzinin's pass is intercepted by number 0, Lane Cox. Tackled
was looking for Fail, but there was so much traffic and congestion.
36.
And Cox, all he had to do was wait for it to fall into his hands, and another turnover for Juan Diego.
Yeah, Mezzinin just did not see Cox right there, just overlooked him, thought he had him downfield, maybe trying to make a big play, make something out of nothing, And just nothing going for Juan Diego right now.
So Manti with one more chance here before halftime and 45 seconds. Up a score of 34-7. Mason Starkweather has already thrown 3 touchdowns in this game. He's going to try for another one here. Starkweather steps up in the pocket, throws. That's complete. Henningsen on the run in stride. He gets tripped up as he crosses the 45-yard line to the 40, as they'll quickly move downfield.
Tackled by number 15, John Lewis.
Lewis made the stop. Starkweather again to throw. 4 men on the rush. Gets away. Now jump passes it out of the pocket and throws it out of bounds. Throws it into the bench. And there's 25 seconds left in the clock.
The 40-yard line.
Now Manti can really put the hurt on Juan Diego right here if they can get a score on this drive. But if you're Juan Diego, once again, just get off the field. Get to the locker room. Hear what coach has to say and make those adjustments for the second half. But right now, Manti clicking on just about every level of the game. Special teams, offense, defense, everything going the way their game plan was drawn up. We'll see if that changes in this next drive.
2nd and 10, Starkweather. Everybody covered, but gonna launch one for Henningsen. He drops it off his hands.
Pass is incomplete.
That probably should have been caught.
Henningsen.
And it'll be 3rd and 10 here with 17 seconds left in the half.
You know, that throw couldn't have been much better. It was an excellent lob, just over the top, over the shoulder. Receiver's going to want that one back. Go up to his quarterback and say, hey, that's my bad. That's my bad.
So 3rd down and 10 now for Manti. Ball at the 40-yard line. Need to get to the 30 to get a first down. Manti still has 2 timeouts remaining. Play action, Atala Papa. Blitz coming. Starkweather throws long out. Pass is incomplete. Intended for Mason.
Pass is incomplete. Intended for number 4, Carter Mason.
And it's 4th down. And
4th down
with 12 seconds to go,
40-yard line.
We'll have to see what offensive coordinator Cam Shumway wants to do here, because they could conceivably get a completion, convert this 4th down, and then put them in position at least for a Hail Mary. But we'll see how aggressive they want to be, up 34-7 here in this first half. That has really been dominated by Manti. 4th and 10 from the 40. Blitz coming on Starkweather. Now throws. That is complete. Mortensen has the first down. And Talkeaho sprinting down that sideline. Immediately calls a timeout with 4 seconds left. And this will be about,
first down.
Call it a
41 Templars.
1-yard field goal for Skylar Flam if they decide to go that route. But you have to think at this point, probably they might be better off just throwing to the end zone.
And with how Cameron Shumway has called this game, called the offensive plays for Manti thus far, I would be very shocked for him to see him go the conservative route, as we've seen him pull trick plays out of his bag. Go for it or go for some really aggressive things. I don't see him going for the conservative play right here. I expect something into the end zone, but it depends on how much you trust your kicker. 41 is it's a long kick, especially for high school.
Well, we'll see what they've got. 4 seconds to go, and you'd have to think, barring a penalty, this will be the final play of the first 24 minutes. Starkweather is going to throw. Blitz coming. Steps up. Spy on him. Now takes off. Breaks a tackle and finally goes down at the 15-yard line. But the clock has run out here in the first half, and that will take us to halftime with Manti up 34-7.
End of the first half. Your score,
and
Juan Diego 7.
I have to tell you, as I turn to you now, Gavin Atkinson, I think that first half went about as good for Manti as you could have drawn it up offensively in that first half.
And I mean, not to take anything away, but Manti just played an excellent half. Sound football, just not really any mistakes. You saw a couple drop passes, but really nothing of note. Really played just about as perfect of a half as you can get. And then on the other side, Juan Diego fighting a little bit of Murphy's Law. You know, all that can't go wrong will go wrong, and at the worst of times. We'll see which coach makes the better adjustments, but Juan Diego really fighting an uphill battle coming into this next half.
Juan Diego will get the ball to start half number 2 as we hit halftime here at John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium. The KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates. Your score at the half: Manti 34, Juan Diego 7. We'll be back after halftime with our thoughts and the start of the second half. You're watching the Rewind Sports Network's coverage of the Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates on KSLSports.com. Under the Friday night lights, we bring you back to the Rewind Sports Network's Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates.
Welcome back to the field.
Alexander Tamopa alongside Gavin Atkinson here at John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium. So Gavin, I turn to you, and the first thing I say is as we look at the score, Manti up 34-7 on Juan Diego. We talked about how this was going to come down to some very razor-thin margins, and it truly is coming down to that right now as far as execution is concerned. Manti's offense executing, Juan Diego's having a little bit of trouble getting into traction.
Yeah, no, don't let the scoreboard fool you. This game has been, much closer than one would think. Juan Diego has got some things going on offense. They've gotten to the other side of the 50. But they have had so many back-breaking errors, so many untimely turnovers that have just sucked away any momentum they had, any chance of getting into the end zone on those, last few possessions of that first half. This game is very much not over. We've seen crazier things in sports. You're down 4 possessions right now. You can't look at that. You can't look at it like that. You have to look at it as, okay, one first down, another first down. Take it bite by bite. And that's what Juan Diego needs to do in this half.
The other interesting thing, Gavin, is as we look at the second half, is that Juan Diego, offensive coordinator DJ Larson, they called 6 passes in that first half. You would have to think on the basis of this deficit right now here in the second half, Fred Talkeahu, who doubles as the defensive coordinator for Manti, has to be thinking Juan Diego's probably going to toss the ball all over the yard for the final 24 minutes, if not most of the 24 minutes.
And it's just going to be something he's going to have to talk with his defense. We'll see what adjustments they have made because they really struggled to slow down that passing game. They really struggled to slow down Mason Starkweather. And, I mean, just going on with that kid, he has just had an incredible game, an incredible season thus far, and that has not, wavered tonight. He has looked every bit the part of a great leading high school quarterback.
Yeah, he was 4th in the state in touchdown passes coming into this ball game. He was tops in 3A with 15. He has 3 passing touchdowns tonight. 2 to Talapapa, and then 1 to Talapapa and 2 to Trevor Foles. 1 to Trevor Foles, and the other one went to Trace Justison. So on the basis of that, really, it has been all Manti here this evening. But the silver lining, as we get set to start the second half, Juan Diego will get the kickoff to start proceedings in the second 24 minutes. And if there was ever a time for this veer option attack to...
Welcome back to Soaring Eagle Stadium as we start the third quarter.
It has to be now. 4-possession game.
Kicking off to start the second half for the Templars, number 21, Skylar Vlam. Back deep to return for the Soaring Eagle, number
Skylar
8,
Vlam will kick off.
Number 17, Braylon Fell.
Archuleta and Fail back deep to receive.
Music cannot be played during live play. Thank you.
Vlam, another pooch kick, and it bounces into the middle of the field, and it'll just be covered up at the 26-yard line by one of the upbacks. That's Parker Stoles, the sophomore, and now this Juan Diego offense comes out for their first
recovered by number 81, Parker Stoles.
possession here of the second half.
At the 26-yard line, 1st and 10, Soaring Eagle.
Average starting field position for Juan Diego has been out near the 35. So like Gavin and I have been saying, they have been able to move the football. It's just a lot of untimely executional errors at untimely moments. It's been really unfortunate to watch. Mezzinin throws over the middle and incomplete. He had Darian Otto running open up the seam.
Pass intended for number 82, Darian Otto.
And that one hurts, Alex, because that one really felt like the play that could, get momentum back going, get your offense back going. Instead, it's just a little past the outreached hands of the tight end. We'll see what they can do on 2nd and 10.
7th pass that Juan Diego has called tonight. They called 6 in the first half. Here's a reverse backside handoff to Archuleta, and he gets maybe a couple.
Counter to number 8, Antonio Archuleta.
It'll bring a 3rd and a little bit more manageable here for this Juan Diego offense, as they're just looking to get some traction
52, Colby Simon.
to start this second half.
Brings up a 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
Mezzinin trying to rally the troops here, down by 27 points. Third down and 8. Mezzinin drops the pass, looking, throws for Otto. This time, it's right into his hands. And a first down across midfield to the 46. And that is exactly what Juan Diego needed to start this second half.
That's another Soaring Eagle first down.
And that is exactly, as you said, what Juan Diego needed. They needed something to catch their breath, something to jumpstart this offense. And a 3rd and long conversion will do that. Getting on the other side of the 50, now the trick is going to be sustaining that momentum, sustaining it, getting your offense going, get some points on the board. But Juan Diego getting a gasp of air, finally getting something going.
This is the 5th time they've crossed midfield in their 7 possessions. Here's a sweep to the near side to Buckley. Buckley gets a block out in front, spins off the tackle, and he gets nailed by a host of white shirts at about the 44-yard line. Pickup of close to 3 on the play. Mac Olson, among others, on the stop.
I loved seeing Antonio Archuleta right there. He set the edge. He was just pushing that defender to the sideline, and the runner just unable to cut that one back. He got a couple yards, maybe had the chance to get a little more, but Manti's defense swarmed right over there.
The deepest Juan Diego advanced was the Manti 29, but then turned it over on an interception by Mezzinin. Mezzinin 2 for 7 tonight passing. Handoff to Buckley. Big hole up the middle. He rumbles his way down to the 30. And a first down to the 30-yard line with 9:40 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
And if you're a Juan Diego fan, man, that is so nice to see, because that dive play really is what this offense hinges on. And for the last quarter and a half, we haven't really seen it work.
As an audibilizing one wide receiver in the set, that's Fail up to the top of your screen. And a handoff again, and again Buckley fumbles it, but this time jumps back on top of it at about the 27.5-yard line.
And we could hear just the audible gasp. You see that fumble hit the ground, and just everybody, if that's not the story of the night, I don't know what is. They get something going, and they are so lucky he was able to get back on top of that football.
Just heard an audible gasp. We heard you gasp on that play. Anyway, 2nd and 7 now from the 27. As Mezzinin trying to get some traction here with this veer option offense. Mezzinin, hands off, up the middle. This is Rosano. And this is actually Archuleta. He dives drives forward, and he gets the first down to about the 24-yard line.
Tackled at
Officially the 21. That's enough to move the sticks for the Soaring Eagle.
First down.
As Mezzinin has this offense marching into the red zone for the first time tonight. Soaring Eagle have not scored since their opening possession, the 59-yard touchdown pass from Mezzinin to Garang Dang. Ever since then, it's been all Manti, but Juan Diego trying to creep their way back into it here in the second half. Taking their time here. Play clock running under 5. They get it off and the handoff up the middle. This is Rosano. Big hole. Touchdown.
Number 9, Roman Rosano on the carry for a gain of 21
Exactly
yards.
what the doctor ordered for the Soaring Eagle. And JD has life.
Roman Rosano right there doing an excellent job on the dive. That's what they've been trying to do all game, and it's worked at times. It's struggled at times. Right there, it worked a lot.
So now for the extra point, Bryson Newport. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and the kick is good. And just like that, it is 34-14 here at the beginning of this second half. Juan Diego creeping back into it here in Draper. As we come back to John Colosimo Field here at Soaring Eagle Stadium, the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week is presented by Heidemann and Associates. Just what the doctor ordered for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle. They go down the field and they score on their opening possession of the second half in just under 4 minutes, or just over 4 minutes. And now they are back within 3 possessions. It's still a long way to go here in this game. Bryson Newport will kick off. Mason and Ty Pringle back to receive the kickoff for Newport. Remember, Pringle returned a kickoff 96 yards earlier in this game. Newport kicks off. Pringle will take it at the 1. He's at the 20. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. Here we go. Penalty flag goal goes down, and Pringle is going to be brought down at the 20, but it is coming back.
And like you said, this one will be coming back, but man, that athleticism and the speed of Pringle, you know, we saw him break one off for a touchdown earlier in the game, and then on his first kick return of this game, he took it for about 40 yards. So I've been really impressed with this kid, really showing his speed. Unfortunate this one's coming back. And we'll get our first look at this Manti offense, but almost more importantly, our first look of the second half at Juan Diego's defense and what adjustments they may have made.
Injured player is number 44, Kainoa Yeager.
Kainoa Yeager cramping up on that last play. It is a very cool night here in Draper. It was at 75 degrees at kickoff, and it probably has dropped close to the 50s now, officially now 70 degrees. As Juan Diego's defense back out there, 1st and 10. 5 wide receivers for Starkweather. Trying to set up a little flare. It is complete. That's Justison. And Justison is brought down after a pickup of close to 10 yards.
Juan Diego's going to want a block in the back on that one, as it looked like they might have missed one. But Manti able to convert, get the first down, get the chains moved.
Here's a play action throw that is complete. Mortensen. And Mortensen is brought down almost immediately by Tage McKinley, the strong safety.
For gain of 6.
Gain of 6 officially on the play for Mortensen. Juan Diego has stopped this Manti offense twice in the last 2 drives, trying to get another stop. Here's a pass for Starkweather, wide open, and passes caught. Henningsen able to make a couple of people miss, and Henningsen is brought down after a pickup of close to 12 at the 47-yard line. That'll move the sticks again for Manti.
Henningsen is just, I know I touched on it earlier, but he's so shifty. The way he's able to juke out defenders, get the extra yards, get that chain moved. It's just so impressive.
Pass out in the flat. That is complete. Justison brought down after a pickup of maybe 6.
Tackled by number 11, Paige McKinley.
As it just keeps going like clockwork for this Manti offense. We're almost halfway through this third quarter. 34-14 Manti leads by 20. Starkweather to throw. Pass caught. First down. Justison. And brought down at the 32-yard line there by Corbin Buckley. But not before it's another first down for the Templars.
Corbin Buckley.
As quickly they move into close to the red zone here. 34-14, Juan Diego trails by 20. Trying desperately to get a stop and get back into this ball game. Manti looking to keep going. Pass out in the flat. That is complete to Talapapa. And Talapapa's wrestled down after a pickup of maybe 5.
And we're going to have a
late flag. You called it on the end of the play.
Yup, that one's going to be an unnecessary roughness or a personal foul as Juan Diego is getting a little frustrated. Undisciplined penalty, unforced error that will move Manti closer to the end zone.
And Braylon Fail let the official know about it after the play was over, so that is going to be another unforced error on Juan Diego. That's their 6th penalty of the game.
15 yards will be added to the end of the play.
So that's going to move the ball inside the red zone once again, and now Juan Diego really trying
first down Templars
to keep going
at the 18-yard line.
It'll be at the 18-yard line. They can get a first down at the 8 without scoring, of course. 1st and 10 for Manti. Starkweather to throw, looking, pressure coming straight up the middle, gets out of the pocket. This time he goes down, the ball comes out, and they're going to say he was down.
Sacked by number 82.
Darian Otto brought him down. It did look like the ball was out after his forearm hit the ground, so good call by the White Hat. That's the 3rd sack of the game tonight, 2nd for Darian Otto.
And that's a great way, you know, to help slow down this Manti passing offense. You know, if you can get some pressure on their quarterback, force him to, you know, start seeing ghosts, get hit, push him into the turf a couple times, maybe get some hurries, inaccurate balls thrown. It is really the key to slowing down this passing offense.
Here comes another blitz, and the pass is deflected and incomplete. Otto again got his hand on it. On the screen, and it'll be 3rd and about Santaquin here for this Manti offense. Again, the last 2 drives they've gotten down here, and they have been stopped. They were stopped on a 4th and 10 at the 40, and they were stopped on a 4th and 24 near the end of the first half. Juan Diego trying to get 2 more downs and get off the field. And now it's going to be 3rd and closer.
Another unforced error coming from Juan Diego, really struggling in this one to stay disciplined. I believe that will be one of the main focuses of practice this next week is don't let the scoreboard deceive you. Juan Diego is a much better team than the scoreboard shows. Just sometimes it's not your night and everything seems to go wrong. We'll see, you know, it's still 3rd and long, and if they can get Manti off the field here, they'll have a great chance to get back in this one.
3rd down and almost 16 from the 24-yard line. Out of field goal range here, definitely for Skylar Vlam. Starkweather to throw. Pressure coming off the edge, and Starkweather's going to get sacked again. A coverage sack for Juan Diego. It's Kai Noah Yeager. And after they gain 5 yards via penalty, they get stopped for 5 yards. The 4th sack of the game for Juan Diego, and it's 4th down.
For a loss of 5 back at the 29-yard line.
Now this brings up a really interesting situation. It looks like Manti is going for it. I mean, that'd be a 52 or maybe a 51-yard field goal, which, you know, is not really manageable at this level But this is going to be a 4th and 20.
4th and 20. Starkweather just heaves it to the end zone. Touchdown!
Pass is complete to number 5, Stone Mortensen.
Stone Mortensen!
Touchdown Templars.
What in the world?
What a great throw and what a great route run by the receiver. Somehow able to pull a rabbit out of the hat.
On to Temple
Get
18.
in the end zone.
Number 21,
and
Skylar Bland.
once again suck the energy out of this stadium.
Wow. Vlam's kick is off the upright, so a little bit of athletic justice right there
3 minutes and 56 seconds left.
for the Juan Diego Soaring Eagle.
The score is Juan Diego 14.
I mean,
Manti
Gavin, what can you do about that? I mean, if you're a Juan Diego fan, you have to be thinking to yourself, what else do we have to do?
And that's exactly it, Alex. You know, sometimes you'll see it in basketball a lot. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off. Things you do one night that seem to work every other night just don't work. And that's really what we're seeing tonight. Juan Diego making errors that they haven't made all year. Really struggling to just play some sound football. And you know, I bet they're kind of shocked that PAT went out because it seemed like nothing was going wrong for Manti.
Boy, this has to hurt for head coach Danny Larson. Kickoff will be taken by Fail at the 14. He has a seam at the 40, at midfield, and tripped up close to midfield.
Number 17, Braden Fail on the return out to the 48-yard line.
I mean, and Gavin, that about sums up right there if you're a Juan Diego fan.
Stone Mortensen.
I mean, things like that have been happening, and yet Juan Diego is down by 26.
And I mean,
from the 48-yard
that's why you just can't look at the score. Juan Diego has shown so many flashes. They've given you reason to believe, and they've just struggled. You know, if you had converted on that drive right before halftime, this is within the teens, and it just certain unforced errors have really taken the wind out of their sails.
Here's a handoff up the middle. Rosano still fighting for yards. He gets out to the 40-yard line, brought down at the 40. Officially marked down at the 39.
And Roman Rosano really has been just fantastic this entire game. He has been one of the bright spots of Juan Diego, running the ball really well. They're going to look to him to get back into this one.
Rosano cramping up on that last play, so we'll step aside. It's all going right for Manti here tonight. The 3A co-favorites showing it here at Draper. 40-14, Manti running away with it here tonight in Draper. But not for a lack of effort by Juan Diego. The Soaring Eagle doing their very best to stay close here in this second half. Here's a handoff to Buckley, and that's really the first negative run play we've seen tonight. Mac Olson
Buckley on the carry.
Right into the backfield, bringing him down for a loss on the play of 4 yards.
Loss of 4.
And this is one of the difficult things about the veer is once you are pushed behind the sticks, once you get off schedule, it's really hard to get back on schedule. The veer relies on 4 or 5 yard runs every down, and it makes it so hard when you have to go further than the 10 you normally have to.
Archuleta goes in motion. Buckley the handoff. He gets the 4 yards back, plus 3 more, and now we're going to have another flag. That's going to be the 8th penalty of the game on Juan Diego, and again, another untimely error.
Ball carried up to the 39-yard line for a gain of 4.
Adric Lillestrand that's going to be called for the personal foul.
Personal foul
on Colby Simons.
on the offense.
That's going to make it 2nd and Santaquin again.
He's 15 yards from the end of the run.
And, You know, that really does sum up this game. Juan Diego gets past the 50, and it's almost like a Jekyll and Hyde. Their offense looks really good up until that 50, but once they get across it, they get hit by the Jekyll.
25
and
from the 46-yard line.
Just untimely errors, unforced errors that have really taken them out of this one.
So second and Santaquin now. Second in the distance to Provo from the 46-yard line. And now we have another penalty flag. And it's going to be a sideline warning against Juan Diego.
Sideline warning.
As the frustration really boiling over here for Juan Diego. Really unfortunate to see. Here's a handoff backside. This is Archuleta, and he gets about maybe 3. And I think at this point, Gavin, if you're Juan Diego, I think you're just hoping to get out of this game with nobody else getting hurt.
And that's a great point, Alex. You know, you never want to count yourself out of a game, but just the way this quarter has gone and how the game has gone,
Third down.
it would really be
And
something to see if they
21
could
yards
come back, but you almost want to start working towards a silver lining, something you can work on in practice, something to give you some hope for next week, as this team is very talented and they really are better than they have played tonight.
Yeah, rare off night for this team. As Mezzinin going to roll to his left, looking up the sideline, nowhere to go, now just throws it away. And a late flag comes down in the vicinity of Pringle. There was a lot of contact downfield, but you can't really say that ball was catchable.
Yeah, Juan Diego might catch a break here, breathe some life back into this offense, as they were really out of their element in a third and very, very long. Manti might have just bailed him out.
Holding.
So the penalties for holding and pass interference do not result in automatic first downs as in college or the NFL. So at the very least, it'll be third and a little bit more manageable.
We'll replay third down. It'll be third down and 11 from the 40-yard line.
With Juan Diego down by 26 points. It's been an unfortunate off night for this Juan Diego team on a 2-game winning streak. It outscored their opponents 77-31 coming in. Held a 6-game winning streak in Draper over the Templars, but that's in jeopardy now as Buckley takes the handoff. He gets about maybe 3 to set up a 4th and 8.
Corbin Buckley on the carry.
And given the time and score where it is, I would assume Juan Diego is obviously going to go for it. And obviously throw it.
That is the thing. It's not necessarily fourth down territory here. It's fourth down situation. You really, it's your only option.
Ever since it was 7-7, Manti has outscored Juan Diego 33-7. And looking back on it, that 96-yard kickoff return by Pringle looms large now. Mezzinin looking to throw, hit as he throws. The feet got tangled up, and a late flag to come in from the back. I'd be surprised to see, Gavin, if this is picked up for pass interference, because it looked like Pringle and Fail just had their feet tangled up, and there was nothing they could do about it.
There was quite a bit of contact. I thought I might have seen a shove, but man, Juan Diego is lucky their quarterback did not get strip sacked, as that defensive end on this near side of the football field was right there. We'll see what the officials decide right here.
And they are going to call pass interference against Pringle, so they will not give the tangle of the feet the benefit of the doubt, and that's the third consecutive penalty against
Soaring Eagle, first down.
Either team on this drive, and Juan Diego now is approaching the red zone with 37 seconds left here in the third quarter, as they're trying to make at least a dent in this deficit. They've been down by as many as 27 points, and Fred Talkeaho is going to call a timeout as nobody was set on his defense prior to the snap. And we'll take this time to remind you that the Rewind Sports Network and our coverage of the Game of the Week is presented by Heidemann and Associates. Contact them today or contact them online for a free consultation courtesy of the Rewind Sports Network. And don't forget, next week, Friday, join Alex Snapoulis and Brian Brown in Highland as the Alta Hawks look to get back on track against the Highland Rams. Coverage starts next Friday night, 7 p.m. on your home for Alta Hawks football. Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. So Gavin Atkinson joining me, Alexander Timolip here at John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium. KSL Sports Rewind proud to present the Game of the Week presented by Heidemann and Associates. This all 3A showdown has been all Manti, really from the midway point of this first quarter onwards, as Manti has scored 33 of the last 40 points. And this despite the fact Juan Diego's offense has largely been able to move the ball.
And Manti's offense really just has just been going on all cylinders, not slowing down.
As Bale makes the catch with a man on him for the touchdown. There's also a penalty flag down on that play as well. It's probably going to be on Pringle again for interference. And so the penalty, I believe, is going to be enforced on the kickoff.
And that's just kind of the football equivalent of an and one. Give me the points and the foul. What a great catch. Able to focus on that ball, bring that one in through the contact.
Touchdown, Soaring Eagle.
Some late fireworks from Juan Diego in a night of struggles thus far.
On to attempt the PAT, number 87, Bryson Newport.
As the official, not ready underneath the crossbar, had to pick up his flag and get back underneath there. So Newport now for the extra point. Good snap, good hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 40-21, our score now with 30 seconds left here in the third quarter. And Gavin, we really have been harping on it all night. The scoreboard really is not indicative of how Juan Diego's actually played this ball game. I mean, you take away the turnover, or the two turnovers, which Manti converted into points, the fourth down that came out of nowhere, and the kickoff return by Pringle. Juan Diego's probably in front in this game right now.
And, you know, I don't want to take anything away from Manti's offense or their defense. They have played an outstanding game. Their defense has been able to make plays when they needed to, but, it's right on the head. You hit it right on the head. Juan Diego just... some unforced errors that really all seem to stem from that botched pitch early in the second quarter on their own side of the 20 that really it's been a lot of downhill from there.
Bryson Newport will kick off. Got to be wary of the onside kick here if you're Manti in a 3-score game. And it is an onside kick. It is sniffed out this time and
onside kick attempt handled
scooped
by number 22
by Braden Cox. And so Manti will have excellent field position from the 43-yard line. 1st and 10. Mason Starkweather has thrown 4 touchdown passes tonight, and that now gives him 19 for the season. That is still tops in 3A, by the way. And if you needed any indication about how Manti was going to bounce back after that really stunning upset at home against Grantsville, I think they've done pretty well. They put up 40-plus points in 2 straight weeks.
And that's just another example of teams that, have an off night once in a while. Great teams can play really bad, and we've kind of seen a little bit of that tonight. But Manti really being every bit the part of that 3A co-favorite.
Penalty flag goes down. Might be
pass complete to number 23.
A formational penalty as Archuleta brings down Talapapa in the backfield after a loss of 1. And I suspect this is backing up 5 yards. And it is. So it'll back its way up 5 yards, and once again, opportunity for this Juan Diego defense to get a stop.
Been declined. The result of the play.
As Juan Diego
and a second down.
will decline the penalty.
From the 40.
As we are under 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter, I deeply suspect that Manti will not run another play unless they want to. They will. It's a run to Talapapa up the middle, and he gets the lost yardage back plus about 3 or 4 more. And that will take us to the end of quarter number 3. We head to the fourth quarter. It's been all Manti here tonight in this all 3A showdown. 40-21 Manti leading Juan Diego as we head to the final 12 minutes. Next Friday, the Rewind Sports Network brings you coverage of Orem High School football. Join Trevor Allen on the call as the Orem Golden Tigers take on the Skyview Bobcats up in Smithfield. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on your home for Orem Golden Tigers football, KSLSports.com. And by the way, Gavin and I will be at Orem High School in a couple weeks, Gavin. Maple Mountain going to take on Orem. What a game that's going to be down in your neck of the woods.
Man, I can't tell you how excited I am to see those two teams duke it out.
As Isaac Crowther takes it for a first down to the 25-yard line. I mean,
spot at the 25-yard line.
I mean, Gavin,
Manti first down.
It has to be said. I think 5A in and of itself is probably more wide open than I think a lot of people thought. Everybody thought, okay, it's Timpview and everybody else, but you got Olympus in there, you have Bountiful, you have West, Alta. I mean, you could probably throw the whole of Region 6 in there as Starkweather drops the pass, rolls out of the pocket, throws on the run, and throws it away as a penalty flag goes down in the backfield. Starkweather comes away from that looking for a roughing the passer. He ain't going to get it.
Flag on the play.
And meanwhile, we're going to have a holding against Manti. But back to my point earlier, as I was saying, I think 5A probably is more wide open than most people gave it credit for, because, oh boy, now Olympus is joining the fray. Now Timpview's joining the fray. Now Alta's been kind of up and down, and now things are getting interesting in that division.
It is truly one of the most entertaining parts of high school football. I mean, everybody loves their 6A, and I do too, but you can't forget about the lower classifications, and 5A is no different. Timpview has been very dominant over the last 3-4 years, but they're within reach of other teams, right as you said.
Here is a reverse, and the ball is out as it is picked up on the run by Max Taukeaho. The coach's son has to eat the football.
55, Max
Could have been a nearly disastrous play for the Juan Diego, for the Manti Templars. Sebastian Ramirez is the one that got at least a hand on the football. Lachlan Cruz will have to come in to replace Sebastian Ramirez, who just needs a blow.
Second down and 25 yards to go.
Second down and about the distance to about the distance to Salt Lake from here.
And this is really turning into a big drive for Juan Diego. They're only down 19 right now. If they can get a stop, get some quick scores, they're right back in this.
Crowther goes in motion. H back in the formation. Handoff goes to Talapapa, and he gets run over at about maybe the 37-yard line. It'll be third and long here for the Templars.
And I do just want to take a minute to talk about Talapapa. He has really had himself an excellent game, you know, kind of gone under the radar a little bit, but beneath the other storylines, but he's been running hard all night, gotten a couple receiving touchdowns. Really impressed with this kid.
Starkweather throws the deep out pattern. That is caught. What a throw and what a catch by Stone Mortensen. It'll be well short of the first down by about 5 yards, but it does make it a little bit more manageable here on fourth down for this Templar offense, as they're going to go quick. 4th and 5 from the 20, and they're going to get Juan Diego to jump offside. That's going to be the 10th penalty of the night for the Soaring Eagle, and that about sums up the night for head coach Danny Larson and the crew.
Now, I just want to go back to that catch by Mortensen. Just what athleticism, the ability to get that toe in, that toe tap. As that ball was a little high, a pretty good throw, but what a catch.
10:06 left here in the game. It has been all Manti for the better part of this game, up by 19 points. Here's a handoff to Talapapa up the middle, breaking tackles, and finally gets brought down at about the 8-yard line. It'll be second and about maybe 3.
Once again, just some really good hard running from Talapapa. His offensive line getting some openings, making some holes downfield, and once again showing his physicality.
Starkweather throws. There are 2 receivers in the area. Looked like that ball was going to Henningsen, but it was dropped on the play by Trevor Fowles, whose name we've not called a whole lot here tonight.
Pass is incomplete, intended for number 14, Trevor Fowles.
So Fowles not able to come up with the football, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
And
Trevor Fowles coming into this game had 12 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Kind of more of a favorite target for the end zone, but not much targets tonight.
3rd down and 4 from the 9-yard line. Mason goes in motion. Talapapa gets the handoff right side, and he ain't going to get it. Brought down on the play by Archuleta.
on the carry.
Flying through the middle.
Made by
and it'll be 4th and 3.
Archuleta in the backfield.
And we'll see what offensive coordinator Cam Shumway wants to do. It looks like he's going to bring Starkweather over, and out of I think respect for the score and where it is, I think he's just going to try to go for it and see if he can't pick it up here on 4th and 4. As we're going to be under 9 minutes with this next snap. Starkweather to throw. Blitz coming. No chance. Archuleta swallows him up in the backfield.
Antonio Archuleta.
The 5th sack of the ball game for Juan Diego.
Archuleta,
and, yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And that just shows you, Gavin, just how hard this Juan Diego team's going to fight till the very end, because they're down 19 points, and yet they still have 5 sacks on the night.
And Archuleta completely untouched on that rush, and you want to know what that tells me? A great blitz designed by the defensive coordinator. Great job freeing up the linebacker, and Starkweather took a hit there from Archuleta.
So as we saw against Alto, Juan Diego, no choice but to go 4 wide here. Pass on 1st down, Mezzinin to throw, pass is caught. That's Archuleta, who just made the sack out of the backfield. Clock will stop momentarily while they move the chains.
And that's another Soaring Eagle first down.
As Mezzinin and Co have no choice but to keep going here. Down by 19 points with 8 minutes to go. Mezzinin from the shotgun. Throws up the sideline for a fail, and just overthrown, incomplete. He was behind the coverage, but the pass led him a little bit too far. And it'll be 2nd down.
And I just want to take a minute to touch on something you'll see quite a bit in 3A, but it's still so impressive, is all the two-way guys. You know, you see Antonio Archuleta, one for Juan Diego, but there's multiple on the field tonight. And just the endurance of these guys to be playing 2 ways most of the game, it is so impressive.
It's like they're playing against a whole bunch of Travis Hunters out there. 2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line for Mezzinin and Co. 4 men on the rush, extra men come, and Mezzinin is going to get brought down, but there is a flag. Matt Olson grabbed him, but he grabbed him up around the shoulder pads, around the collar. And that is going to be a personal foul against Manti.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense.
As Olsen was trying desperately to bring down Mesinen, but in doing so, grabbed a piece of his nameplate.
The previous spot.
And that's going to result in a first down across midfield.
Ball will be placed.
And we've seen a couple, unconventional first downs from Juan Diego in this half. We saw the one earlier where it was 4th and 20, and then we had a couple pass interferences and holdings down the field that gave him the first down, and we saw another one right there on that horse collar tackle.
8:04 left to go here in the game. Juan Diego trying to fight this thing out to the very end. And give them credit. They really are better than the scoreboard has indicated all night long. Mesinen to throw. Jailbreak up front. Now throws it away in the direction of Braylon Fail. And really, that's what we saw too against Alta. That Juan Diego, really is forced into these kind of situations. They have to throw the ball downfield, and you're going to see that a lot of the time, unfortunately.
And, it's just kind of natural. You're going to be good at the things you practice, and Juan Diego does not practice in the shotgun very often. So Manti is taking advantage of this fact, pinning their ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and continuing to make this night very difficult for this Juan Diego offense.
What's ironic is that they have been able to move the ball all night long, as Juan Diego's going to take a timeout here with 7:49 to go. And we will as well. It's all Manti here at this point. All over but the shouting tonight here in Draper on our game of the week. 7 minutes and 49 seconds left here in this one. I want to remind you at the conclusion of tonight's game, Gavin and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann & Associates player of the game. Player went above and beyond the call for his team. Here's a handout to the near side. This is Archuleta, right side. Able to get a couple of blocks, and out of bounds he goes. At about the 40-yard line.
On the carry.
Clock will stop with 7:42 left to go here in the ball game.
Gain of 8.
As Archuleta flew out of bounds.
From the 41-yard line.
We'll see Juan Diego back in that shotgun as they moved back into their normal veer, or looks like they will go back into that veer for this short yardage situation.
Yeah, makes sense. And now it's going to be 3rd and 7. And we're going to have another penalty. That's the 12th of the game on Juan Diego.
Another back-breaking unforced error as, this game, the time continues to wind down. The chances of Juan Diego coming back dwindling. I'm curious to see if Juan Diego will continue to try and run that shotgun or get back to their bread and butter, try and get that going for next week. Bring some momentum into this coming week for practice and so on.
Mesinen hands off. This is Rosano backing his way forward. He'll be short of the first down. Be 4th and about a yard and a half.
41-yard line will bring up a 4th down and 2 yards to
obviously,
go.
With the time and score where it is, Juan Diego has to go for this. They already converted a 4th down earlier in this half. 1 for 3 on 4th downs tonight. And Fred Takeaho is going to take a timeout as he didn't like what he saw.
And that is one of the big storylines of this game is Juan Diego's inability to convert on those 4th downs. They've struggled a couple turnovers on downs, and then they had that pick and that fumble. They've really struggled with the ball security, which has kind of put them in that situation. It's hard to win a game when you have 4 or 5 turnovers.
The Rewind Sports Network and our coverage of high school football will continue next week. Join Michael Gutkind and Garrett Thompson from Skyridge as the Falcons take on the Westlake Thunder. Coverage starts at 7 p.m. on your home for high school football all season long. The Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Well, this game has been all Manti since about the midway point of the first quarter. After that 96-yard kickoff return by Ty Pringle, it has been all Templars from that point. And Juan Diego, try as they might, done their best to keep up with this explosive team. 4th and less than a yard. 4th and about a yard and a half, officially, they call it. You respect we're going to see a run here. Mezzanine, hands off. Rosano, and he's got it. Right at the marker. And so they will stop the clock momentarily while they set up the ball.
Number 9.
Actually, they're going to measure this, and yeah, it is a first down.
And that's a Soaring Eagle first down.
As the clock will now run under 7 minutes. Officially 6:40.
Ball on the 39-yard line.
Left here in the game. Mezzanine from under center. Throws, passes, deflected. And incomplete, looking for Kingston Taban on the slant.
And I don't believe that one would have been completed if it hadn't have been tipped, as the receiver hadn't even turned his head yet, and wouldn't have turned his head for a couple seconds after the ball had been thrown.
2nd down and 10 from the 39-yard line as Juan Diego trying to put at least one more score on the board. Here's a handoff to the near side, Archuleta. And Archuleta breaks a couple of tackles down that sideline. And he finally gets ridden down out of bounds, but not before he picks up another 15 yards down to the 26-yard line. That puts him over 100 yards here this evening rushing.
And that's another Soaring Eagle first down.
And Archuleta really has had himself a really good night. Kind of touched on it earlier. One of the bright spots of Juan Diego. And, you know, going into the rest of the season, Juan Diego's going to be fine with that guy in the backfield. They'll be able to figure things out. And with an explosive kid like that, what a weapon to have on your team.
He even has the sack that ended the last drive, so that tells you the kid is tough. Mezzanine going to throw in the middle, passes incomplete, intended for Taban again on that quick slant. 6:22 left here in the 4th quarter. Alexander Timolip, Gavin Atkinson, if you're still with us, for the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week, presented by Heinemann and Associates. One of 2 we've got on our network tonight. Of course, the other one we know of is Northridge and Viewmont. Those 2 undefeated 5A teams going at it up in North Salt Lake tonight. We'll check on that score for you here in a second. We know people are probably curious about that scoreline right now. Mezzanine to throw, throws for Taban again in the end zone. Better coverage this time and incomplete.
Pass incomplete, intended for number 5, Kingston Tatum.
As we take a look at that scoreboard right now,
3rd down and 10.
we're taking a look at that Bountiful Viewmont score, which a lot of people have circled on their calendars tonight for good reason. They're good teams. Another one we want to point out, West over Alta right now in the 3rd quarter, 28-23. In a rematch of that epic playoff game that went 4 overtimes last year at Gene Plaga Stadium. Here's a handoff to Buckley, trying to get through a crease on the left side. And just closed off quickly. That was 3rd down and 10, so it'll be 4th and 8 here for Juan Diego. And Danny Larson not going to take any chances here in putting his offense at risk. He's just going to send out the field goal unit.
And it definitely helps, you know what, a morale victory. Seeing some points get on the board after a long, hard-fought drive gives you something to build off on. Build off of.
Fred Talkeaho was looking at the official. They thought he called a timeout. He ended up not doing so. So at the very least, Juan Diego at least going to get a field goal out of this drive. Bryson Newport will attempt a 42-yard field goal with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the game. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up. It looks good, and it is good.
Just able to sneak that one over the crossbar. What a kick from him. 42-yard kick. And that'll get some points for Juan Diego, 24-40.
So 40-24, now your score. A two-possession game, but Manti's got this one well in the bag here tonight. It's been all Templars, really from the very beginning. And Gavin, I turn to you. I mean, it didn't seem like it was a turning point in that first quarter with the 96-yard kickoff return by Ty Pringle, but looking back on it, that I think had a lot bigger impact on the game than I think we knew it had at that time in the first quarter.
Exactly, and that is exactly why you can't overlook special teams. It's very easy to overlook your special teams, but they can completely sway the momentum in your favor or away from you. For example, a muff on a punt can completely derail your game. But a great job from him finding his way to make some big returns.
Onside kick was recovered by Juan Diego, but I don't believe it went 10 yards. It looked like it was touched at about the 48-yard line, so that was 2 yards short of where it should have been. And so Manti will get the ball back on the 48-yard line, and given the time and the score where it is, that should just about put it to bed, as Kainoa Yeager once again getting worked on that far sideline. Don't forget, coming up at the conclusion of tonight's game in about 5 or 6 minutes, Gavin and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann and Associates player of the game, the player who went above and beyond the call for his team tonight. It was a 7-7 game after Juan Diego tied it on a 59-yard touchdown pass from Hayden Mezzinin to Garang Dang. But ever since then, Manti has just grabbed it by the throat, largely thanks to Ty Pringle and that 96-yard kickoff return.
Now, as we look to next week for Manti, they're going to be taking on Carbon, who went into tonight 3-1, but have really struggled.
Yeah, how about Carbon? I mean, you talk about a new regime, and I'm sure old Dusty is happy to see his Dinos are 3-1.
Unfortunately, they're down 49-10 tonight.
Well, you have to figure, Gavin, they are playing better opponents.
Number 23.
But Ogden in 3A, I mean, Ogden is another one of those teams that's kind of coming on strong as well. But everybody still thinks, myself included, Gavin, it still is between Manti and Morgan for 3A, and Morgan is still on the schedule for Manti, and Juan Diego has to face Morgan next week. I mean, you talk about a difficult stretch for Juan Diego. They got to face Manti, Morgan, and Grantsville all in about a 5-week span to end the season.
And don't forget about Ogden.
Yes, and Ogden is dangerous too.
Really tough schedule for Juan Diego. Definitely need to respond to this one in practice. Get the ship.
The ship righted, as it is.
Thank you.
Talapapa is taken out of bounds after a short gain.
On the carry.
It'll be third and call it about maybe 4 yards. So it's a 2-score game here, 5 minutes to go. Juan Diego still has 3 timeouts left to go, but they would pretty much need a miracle here if they're able to come back and at least force overtime. They're still down 2 possessions and 2 two-point conversions. But like we said, Gavin, give this Juan Diego team credit. I mean, we keep harping on it. I mean, the scoreboard does not really indicate how good this team actually is. Starkweather is just going to keep it himself. He's not going to get the first down. He's brought down after no gain on the play. But, Gavin, we keep harping on it. As long as Juan Diego can find a way to respond to this game here tonight and clean up the mistakes, they're going to be in every game down the stretch of the season. And there's a very real possibility that this team might make some noise in the playoffs.
And that is, it's one of the things about the Veer that it's so risky. I kind of talked about it earlier, is those mistakes, whether it's turnovers, picks, fumbles, failed fourth down conversions, will get you off schedule, and it is so hard to get back on schedule and back into the game. But you're 100% right. Juan Diego, if they can clear up those turnovers, if they can clear up those unforced errors, those personal fouls that are not needed, they're a very dangerous team.
Juan Diego is going to fall to 2-3. Their 2-game winning streak will come to a close, barring a miracle here in the final 4 minutes and 14 seconds. And Manti, meanwhile, going to go to 4-1. And Gavin, with this result tonight, Manti put up 45 on Emory last week, and they put up 40 here on Juan Diego tonight. That means they've had 85 points their last 2 games. And outside of that anomaly against Grantsville, meanwhile,
number 78.
we're going to have Kellen Lund punting. This will be the first punt of the night for Manti, and it comes in nearly the 50th minute of game time, or the nearly 44th minute of game time. Lund is going to actually try to fake it and throw it, and it's picked off by Archuleta. Well, I take it back.
Lund's pass is intercepted by number 8.
So Manti gets a little too tricky for their own good, turns it over near midfield with 4 minutes and 5 seconds. But back to what I was saying earlier, Manti, 85 points this last 2 weeks. If this offense keeps playing the way it is down the stretch of the season, there's no reason in my mind that when they eventually match up against Morgan, because it's inevitable. Manti's going to play Morgan at some point in the playoffs. Morgan is going to have a really difficult test ahead of them to try and slow down this offense.
And you're exactly right. Nobody wants to play Manti. Manti is just so explosive, and it is so hard to play against them because their receivers are so athletic. They're so good at getting open, and then they're sure-handed. They don't drop balls very often.
Here's Archuleta going up the middle, and he gets brought down at the 36-yard line.
On the carry, tackled by
he really has been really fun to watch here tonight. He continues to just give everything he's got, as Manti trying to just hold on for dear life down here near the end. Juan Diego down 2 scores, but again, going to be an uphill climb to see if they can still get back in it. Here's Archuleta. This might help. Archuleta's going to score. Touchdown.
Number 8, Antonio Archuleta on the carry.
And so Archuleta finally gets into the end zone. And with 3:29 to go here in the game, we potentially are a 2-point conversion away from a 1-possession game.
And what can't Archuleta do? We've seen him get a sack. We just saw him get a pick on the fake punt. And now we just saw him put the team on his back and rush for 40 to 50 yards between 2 rushing attempts and get Juan Diego into the end zone.
And he now is over 150 yards rushing in the ball game. That was his 10th touchdown of the year. Mezzinin now gonna sprint out and throw for the 2-point conversion. Incomplete. They wanted a flag. They're not gonna get it. It was pretty good coverage in the end zone. And so it remains a 10-point game with 3:29 to go here in the game.
Your Soaring Eagle 30, Manti 40.
I mean, Gavin, give this Juan Diego team credit. I mean, they are not going away quietly. And yes, it's a 2-possession game. Yes, it's a 10-point game. And yes, the chances of Juan Diego coming back in this game are probably still slim to none. But you have to give them credit. They are making a fight of this all the way to the finish.
And do you want to know what that tells me, Alex? That tells me Juan Diego is coached. has an excellent coach, keeps his team in the fight. It would have been so easy for Juan Diego to move on, look to next week when they were down 7-34. But now they've gone, put 23 points up and only given up 6.
And the 6 points were the onside kick, or the 4th and 25. That was really it.
Yeah, 10 players.
So Juan Diego still with 3 timeouts remaining, able to convert off that turnover, turn that turnover to 6 points. But still facing an uphill climb here with 3:26 to go. Newport will kick off, and I assume this is probably going to be an onside kick, but Danny Larson decides to burn the first of his 3 timeouts here with 3:26 left in the game. So we'll take one as well. Juan Diego trying to rally the troops for one last push. Still down by 10 with 3 minutes to go. A scoring shootout here tonight in Draper, Utah. Alexander Timop alongside Gavin Atkinson. 40-30, Manti leads Juan Diego. Well, for anyone that turned it off at 40-14, we hope you tune back in because you missed quite a bit on the Juan Diego side. Newport is going to just pooch kick this deep. Pringle has it, and he will fall to the turf.
Covered by number 12, Ty Pringle.
So it's a 2-score game. Juan Diego still has 2 more timeouts remaining, but like we said, uphill climb here. Even if they had hit the 2-point conversion, it would have still been an uphill climb in an 8-point game, because they would have got the ball, Gavin, conceivably with what, about a minute or so left to go, and we would have had the same situation that we would have seen with Alta.
Yeah, and I mean, just playing off of that hypothetical, that this Juan Diego offense is just not built for those 2-minute offenses.
Here's a handoff up the middle to Talaupapa, and he is quickly brought down on the play by Dang. Clock will be running. Clock will run under 3 minutes with the next snap.
2nd and 10 from the 40-yard line.
So any hope Juan Diego has left rides on this possession. They were down earlier 40-14, but made it a 40-30 game. Remember, we want to bring viewers a note here. Manti has not beaten Juan Diego in Draper since 2002. They've lost 7 consecutive games. Starkweather to keep it. Starkweather got the first down, and he will quickly slide with a first down at the 48-yard line.
And that's something we haven't really seen so far in this game, but something that is in Mason Starkweather's arsenal. He is a great improviser, having 3 rushing touchdowns on the year, just hasn't had to use them tonight. Use those wheels tonight.
It was 34-7 in the first half, in case people missed it. In this second half, it's 23-6. But most of those points, you have to say, have come in garbage time. As Antonio Archuleta, 150-plus yards rushing and a touchdown here in this game. Here's a handoff again, Talaupapa. He'll be brought down by Lillestrand, among others, and Danny Larson will burn the second of his 2 remaining timeouts, or the first of his 2 remaining timeouts here with 1:56 left here in this fourth quarter. You're going to reset the clock to 2 minutes exactly. So in essence, this acts. So in essence, this acts as the 2-minute warning for both sides.
And that has really been one of the more interesting changes we've seen in college football. We'll see.
Yes, the 2-minute warning. Yeah.
We'll see if it ever trickles down to the high school level, because having the 2 timeouts plus that 2-minute warning, or in college they've been telling the broadcasters to call it a 2-minute timeout, effectively gives you 3 timeouts or 4 timeouts in the second half if you need it.
They already have it in Texas high school football, so I would assume on that basis, maybe a 2-minute warning is coming at some point nationwide to high school football. Here's a handoff, Talaupapa. No, it's a keeper. Starkweather going to keep it around the right side. And he smartly is going to take it and slide down inbounds to keep the clock moving with 1:52 left to go. And this right here pretty much is your ball game.
Kind of looking a little Joe Burrow-ish on that slide. Not really sure if he wanted to go down, slide. Wasn't really a baseball slide, but it did the job.
So 3rd down and 2 with 1:28 left to go here in the ball game. And if Manti gets a first down, you'll have to think that they'll take just knees here and run this clock out, with Danny Larson only having one timeout in his pocket. It's Talal Papa. Starkweather getting the carry. He will get the first down. He's trying to go down in bounds, and now he finally does. I have no idea why Starkweather was trying to run to the end zone, unless he was trying to run up the score. I don't think he would do that in this situation, but never can tell these days. But
18-yard line.
You know, Alex,
so Juan Diego will not burn that last time out, and that'll be the end of things here tonight.
You know, Alex, the coaches up here had themselves a little bit of a heart attack, because you do not want to see your quarterback get hurt on a valueless play right there. The game's already in hand, and just go down. Get the first down, go down, take some knees, get on the bus, let's go home.
So the Manti Templars come in here, and for the first time in 22 years, are going to get out of Juan Diego with a victory. Give the Soaring Eagle credit. It did not come easy tonight. Juan Diego down 34-7 at halftime, able to make it a 10-point game at the end of it. But Juan Diego just not enough plays and not enough answers for this explosive Manti offense. Final score 40-30 in favor of Manti. We'll be back to select our player of the game and wrap this whole thing up. Rewind Sports Network proud to present the game of the week, presented by Heidemann & Associates. Back in a moment. The Rewind Sports Network proud to thank UCCU for its coverage and sponsorship of the game of the week, presented by Heidemann & Associates. Thank Heidemann & Associates for their sponsorship of tonight's game as well. 40-30, the final score. Manti, for the first time since 2002, snaps their 6-game losing streak against Juan Diego. Alexander Timoleb, Gavin Atkinson here at John Colosimo Field at Soaring Eagle Stadium. Gavin, first of all, we have to give credit where credit is due. I mean, Danny Larson has this Juan Diego football team on a very, very nice trend going upwards. But Manti right now, after that blip on the radar against Grantsville, they look as dangerous as they've ever been.
And, I mean, every team will have those trap games, as you call it, and Manti's was Grantsville. And we saw them respond with one of their best performances against Juan Diego. But Juan Diego struggled in this one, struggled to get some things going, struggled to consistently keep things going. They could get the ball moving, but they could not finish in the red zone, and they really struggled on Manti's side of the 50.
So now it's time for a Heidemann Associates player of the game, presented by Heidemann Associates, the full-service law firm that goes above and beyond for the clients they serve. Gavin, it didn't seem that way when we started the midway point of this first quarter, but Ty Pringle, 125-plus return yards on the night, plus that 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. If you look at the scoreboard tonight, that, along with some help from the defense, forcing 3 turnovers, is what ended up being the difference here in this game.
He 100% had one of the biggest impacts on this game. He almost metaphorically punched Juan Diego in the face, and Juan Diego struggled to get back up from it, and Manti's offense took full advantage of that, doing what they do. Mason Starkweather throwing for 4 touchdowns, I believe, and having himself a night, but it all stems from Pringle's kick return for a touchdown. And let us not forget about his 2 other really impressive returns, and a couple that were brought back by holdings.
Yeah, we also have to give a shout-out to Antonio Archuleta, 150-plus rushing yards and a touchdown on the night, but Juan Diego just, like we said, not able to find enough answers for Manti's offense tonight. So, Gavin, we now look forward to our game next week. Pleasant Grove taking on number 15 nationally ranked Lone Peak, the number 1 team in Utah according to our Rewind Sports Network rankings. You want to talk about a trap game. I mean, Pleasant Grove beat LP last year in PG, and it's a Region 3 game. You talk about a trap game for Bart Brockbank's team. That is definitely it.
And it really will. That is an excellent definition for this game. It will come down to Lone Peak cannot overlook Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove is a dangerous team, and Lone Peak looks every bit the part of the number 1 team in Utah, but they have to be the number 1 team in Utah every week.
And plus, what's more, we talked about how Corner Canyon shot up the rankings after pulling out that shocking upset over IMG Academy. They lost to LP the next week in their own version of a trap game, and now you have 2 ranked teams in the rankings, in the national rankings as far as that is concerned. And plus, PG's going up against a nationally ranked Lone Peak team. I mean, there's going to be a lot of emotion on the line in that game.
You are welcome to join the team in the grotto.
But regardless, Gavin, a fun game here tonight. First ever game of the week we get to call here tonight. And it ended up being a pretty good game, but I think everyone in 3A better be watching this game tonight. Manti is the real deal.
Manti really showing themselves as the juggernaut they are in 3A. Really excited to see what they have for us the rest of the season.
Gavin and I will be back next week for Pleasant Grove against number 16 Lone Peak. Join us at 7 p.m. next Friday. And then 2 weeks from now, we'll be heading to Gavin's neck of the woods. His former school, Orem, takes on Maple Mountain in what's sure to be a 5A classic down there between the Golden Eagles and the Golden Tigers. But for now, for Josh Dodge on the camera and for Vince Francis back in the KSL broadcast house, we want to thank all of you for joining us here for the KSL Sports Rewind Game of the Week presented by Heidemann & Associates. For more Heidemann & Associates Game of the Weeks, check out our KSLSports.com schedules and join us next Friday for another Game of the Week between American Fork and Lehigh. The final score tonight, Manti 40, Juan Diego 30. Until we meet again, we bid you aloha from Utah and wish you a good night and wish you that you will take care of one another. See you next week, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to Soaring Eagle State.